Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about my theory as to why Lady Gaga scenes in Joker Folie à Deux were cut are semi-right. I do believe Todd Phillips cut most of Lady Gaga's scenes because he was trying to make the anti-woke mob like happy and stuff. Cause I just feel like this is something odd. There's something suspicious about this whole thing. Like I knew there was something suspicious about it because a big name like her, and she's a mega star when it comes to singing, and she's dabbled in like movies. Some did okay, some have not. And it's just odd that she is the co-lead and playing a very famous character. Why on earth will her scenes be cut? Because she is supposed to compete with Margot Robbie with this whole who is the better Harley Quinn. It's just strange and it's just bizarre that like her scenes would be cut. And because she is a big star, her fans are gonna want to see her. And from what I've heard, she's barely in the movie and stuff. And I got even more suspicious when, it was announced a long time ago that this was going to be a musical, and a lot of people just ain't feeling musicals right now because every musical that's happened this year has flopped. I got even more suspicious when I heard that Lady Gaga is going to have a huge role in the movie. All that speculation started a chatter around the internet. Whether or not it was true, who knows? For now, it's just a rumor. And you know how that happens when it's just a rumor and a certain group don't like it. They go crazy and they make their 100 videos a day and stuff. But then I got even more suspicious when right before the movie came out, all the TV spots did not have Lady Gaga in them. And if it did, she only appeared for 1 second and 1 second only. And she had no line of dialogue in those TV spots. It's just kind of odd. If she's in the movie, why isn't she being promoted? And so I'm just kind of like, okay, there's something got to be going on. And what's been going on lately in Hollywood is the anti-woke mob doesn't want to see anything of wokeness in their movies or TV shows and blah, 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 blah. And all the networks are trying to make them happy because they're trying to bring them back so they can buy more movie tickets and get bigger streaming ratings and blah, 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 right? It's even to the point where Disney is starting to back away from diversity just to make those like terrible people happy and everything. And so I said that somebody over there at Warner Brothers who was making this second movie must have got cold feet. They had to have, like, they must have got scared because first they announced it was a musical years ago. And how many musicals have we had this year? There was Mean Girls, there was that Wonka movie, and there was The Color Purple, and all of them bombed and everything. And those were big movies back in the day before they got rebooted, and they bombed hard. So it's kind of like somebody got cold feet with that because it was no longer advertised as a musical. Now it was jukebox music. But from people who actually saw the movie said, nah, it's a musical and everything. And so I was like wondering, like, what could it be? Like, could my theory be right as to why he cut Lady Gaga? Because first, he knows people not going to see it because it's a musical. But if Lady Gaga has a huge role in it, and oh, she's a woman and not a man and not a straight man and everything, they're going to fuss about that. So I'm like, maybe, just maybe somebody pulled her scenes and everything. And from what I've now read, he had full control of the movie. James Gunn, Peter Safran, and David Zaslav had no interference in it. So this was all his thing. So why would he cut her scenes? And then there's an article that came up just recently that he cut a girl on girl kissing scene with Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn / Lee and some random lady who was a protester. He cut that scene. I'm like, he cut a girl on girl kiss scene. Could that have agitated some people? Was that gonna trigger some people? Were they gonna call the movie woke? Like, why did he pull that and stuff? And so I read the article. And basically, the article says that, Harley Quinn's walking down the steps. She sees some protesters, is doing one of those musical numbers, and she just kisses somebody. Now, Lady Gaga improv that scene. And so, so it was never written in the movie. Lady Gaga just went for it for whatever reason and kissed this woman. And so his thing is that doing this musical, there had to have been something, some type of dialogue. Like he said, he was feeling that music vibe. It's a musical. So he's feeling that musical vibe, and there should have been some type of dialogue, and the woman was supposed to say something, but then here comes Lady Gaga kissing her, and it just took him out the vibe. And so he cut it because it didn't meet, I guess, his vision or something. Now here's the thing. Todd Phillips don't seem to understand Harley Quinn. She is bisexual. She was intended to always be bisexual when she was created for the cartoon Batman the Animated Series, but they couldn't do that back then. So in the comics, they made her bisexual and stuff. She is also bisexual on the new animated show that she's on called Harley Quinn on HBO Max. I can't remember if she was bi in the Birds of Prey movie, but I don't think she was. I don't think in the DCEU she was never bi or whatever. But that's how she is. And also, Harley Quinn randomly does stuff. She's the type of girl that will, threaten to kill you, blow you a kiss, and then cartwheel away. That's who she is. She's wacky in the head. Lady Gaga understood that. Todd Phillips does not. Now, what's odd is that it didn't fit his vibe. But yet, the Joker in the first movie, he took every single last trait that makes the Joker, except for the gadgets. And then he took those comic book elements and fused them into mental illness, which I said was very clever. It explains why he smiles all the time. It explains why he laughs all the time. It explains why he'll go from happy to sad. It explains why he goes from happy to angry and everything. So, and it explains why he will just randomly dance. Because, sometimes if you ever watch Batman anime series, sometimes, very rare, the Joker will just break out and dance and everything. Especially when he's torturing people. He tortured Batman this one time. And also in some of the animated movies, he just randomly dances sometimes. He took all those elements and put those into mental illness. Why couldn't he put the kissing scene and put that into Harley Quinn's psychosis and everything? It would have worked. And then I saw an old article from about 2019 that kind of explains why he might have taken it out and why my theory is semi-right. He don't like wokeness. So he said the reason why he left comedy movies to make a serious Joker movie was because of wokeness and everything. See, I didn't even know about this article until now. See what happens when you do a little Googling and everything and stuff just kind of pops up. So he doesn't like Hollywood wokeness and everything. Why? Because he said, his movies that he made back in the day, a lot of comedians nowadays, they just can't combat wokeness because people get offended. So they can't make jokes about people because people get offended. Let's explain this whole comedy thing and why wokeness is a problem for some comedians, many comedians at that. It's because many comedians love to offend people. They will make fun of your race, your culture, your age, your gender, your sexuality. If you have a disability, stereotypes about a race, they make fun of that all. But people nowadays kind of like, hey, stop making fun of my race. We've been through too much. Hey, stop making fun of my gender. Hey, stop making fun of my sexuality. Hey, I did not want to be born this way, but I am this way and I'm confined to a wheelchair. Or, my certain of my body parts are just like configured differently than yours, or like I have a height difference or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't ask to be born that way, but I am born that way, and people make fun of me and stuff. So it's kind of like people don't want to be made fun of in that way. And I've said this before. You can make offensive jokes. You don't have to use certain words. Like, you don't have to use slurs. You don't have to, go as hard as they do. Well, of course, now they offended by this because comedians all like, we can't make fun of you no more. We can't be racially insensitive to you no more. How dare you and everything. And it's like, say like you have it's like Family Guy. They'll do something like a skit where one of the white characters will do something, dress in Asian clothes, act like a stereotype, or just say something offensive when they're in another country. People are tired of that crap. You can be funny. You ain't gotta be disrespectful. And so since he's offended by this, cause he can't make fun of people no more and make fun of their cultures and races and stuff no more. So he's like, I'm out, just like other comedians and stuff. So if he has a problem with wokeness and comedy, then there's a good possibility he has a problem with other forms of wokeness in Hollywood. And who has a problem with wokeness in Hollywood? Oh, well, it's the anti-woke mob that's online and everything, especially on YouTube. And they talk about how they hate wokeness and they're not watching these movies no more. They're not watching these TV shows. They review bomb stuff. They complain about things years in advance and make thousands upon thousands of videos just so YouTube can pay their light bill and everything. So if he doesn't like a form of wokeness, there's probably other forms of wokeness he doesn't like. And he's trying to cater and pander to people who are similar to him, who's gonna get offended or who's gonna get triggered and everything and don't want to watch something because oh no, there's a female lead in the movie and she's taking control from the man and everything. How dare they and everything. So I believe this is one reason why a lot of her scenes, and I do mean a lot, got cut and everything. And also, this dude is just a bit odd and everything. Because he didn't, he's just a quitter is what he is. Things don't go his way or things get too complicated and he wants to quit. He quit comedy. He didn't want to make a second Joker movie. And then they wanted him to take over the DC division of Warner Brothers and everything. And he didn't want to. And so he made this god-awful movie that people do not like. And some people think he sabotaged his own movie just so he can get out of it and nobody can ask him to make another comic book movie. Because he said he's done with DC and comic book movies and stuff. He's had his fill and he's gone. The dude's just a quitter when things just get a bit too complicated. That's probably why his movies are so inconsistent in everything. When it gets hot and everything, he gets out the kitchen and everything. So I do believe because of this article, he is trying to pander to that anti-woke mob and everything and fear that they might not watch his movie and stuff. But some people, like I said before, they believe he is self-sabotaging Joker 2 and everything. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.